Start the match at Princes Park. Big crowd. Francis gives Wine a shove. Monkhorst and Manson, you'd expect them to run straight at each other all day. And the first kick goes to Wine against Francis off the ball. Wine's kick towards half forward. Lynch again playing up forward. Kicked half a dozen against the Eagles 8 days ago. And he's a thumping kick, and you wouldn't count him out from here. And this would be just the start the Lions would want. He kicked outstandingly well in Perth, in different conditions admittedly. But the ball wouldn't be heavy yet. Drop punt, leans back, gives it a real ride. What a kick! A beauty to start with. And the Lions draw first blood.
It was a great start for Fitzroy. Free kick into the centre of the ground. They got it away by Jimmy Wine, who appears to have the tagging job on Tony Francis as rain begins to fall here at Princess Park. And everything's set up now for a tight tussle in one of the matches of the round.
Terrific start to the Lions. Damian Monkhorst versus James Manson. Monkhorst with the right hand. Tony Shaw in hard after it. The ball hits the deck. There's Michael Christian. The ball smothered. Centre wing is Watson. A quick kick to the half forward line. Seacamp off the ground and over the line on centre wing.
And a point of note, Peter, that Barry Mitchell starting in the centre of the ground. He's being picked up by Bradley Boyd. Mitchell, of course, recruited from Sydney as an on-ball player, but has been playing up in the forward pocket, not getting the number of possessions he was required to have.
Kick off the ground towards the half-forward line for the Magpies, and that was almost out on the full off the boot of Mitchell, but it'll be a throw-in at half-forward. Collingwood scoring in. There's former Swan star, 27 years of age, finding it hard to cement a place in this Collingwood side.
Some key matchups. Boyd, who came into the side last week, kick up towards McCarthy. Repeating that Gaffer playing no right. Nice kick by McCarthy. Lynch, good take. Lyon ducks. It was, and Lyon was set up and then ducked. Free kick to Williams. His tag is Armstrong. Here's Christian. Francis. Well, the hip and shoulder was there. Baldwin didn't put it on. Rose kicked round the body. Seacamp versus Krasiska. Well played, Krasiska. Brown, a good give. It was a hot one. Unable to be taken, though, by Mitchell. Brown again. Great to see him back. Centering kick. Rocca's in the box seat. Got it. Well, Jared, we mentioned Lynch was a thumping kick at one end. This bloke will have no trouble at all with the distance from here.
No, outstanding kick is Saverio, Rocca, but the rain is very heavy at the moment, coming down in drops bigger than a bowling ball.
Rocca from 40 goes drop punt and kicks it long and strong and through. The Maggies reply instantly. A goal apiece at the park.
Yes, good play by Gavin Brown there, involved a couple of times. Gave a quick one to Mitchell. He put it to ground. He was good enough, though, Brown, to get it back, and a good centering kick to the top of the square saw Big Rocca take a pretty good mark on the chest. Almost as big a superstar up forward as Peter McKenna.
Great start to the game. A goal apiece. Centre of the ground. That's Paul Broderick to the half-forward line. Watson on his own. Had a great season. And in the Victorian squad. Hand pass from Mitchell. Back to Watson. Around the corner to centre wing. Baldwin was grabbed when he didn't have it. And it will be a kick on centre wing to Jason Baldwin. Speedy wingman. Off he goes on the right foot. A lovely kick to the half-forward line. Wheildon the flyer. Over the back using his intelligence there. Watson. Sweeping hand pass to Shaw. On to Williams. Paul Williams sets sail towards Rocca. The big hands of Rocca go up. Mark Zanotti with pace at the back. Did it well, Mark Zanotti. Backs himself in. Gives off a hand pass. This is David Johnston, the former Essendon utility player. The half forward, punched away, almost to Mark McCarthy. Socket off the ground. That's Dundas. In towards Lynch. Lynch and McGuane. McGuane goes for the safety of the boundary line, and now it rolls over the line. Forward pocket for Fitzroy.
Good match-up at centre-half forward for Collingwood. They have Brown there, and Ruse from Fitzroy, their champion, picking him up. So a champion on another. Should be a great contest all game. I'm sure one of Brown's biggest jobs will be as a negative player on Roos, who starts many of their attacks.
Watson, Lyon put a good hip and shoulder on him. Armstrong in there, who's got the job on Williams.
Paul Roos averages 25 possessions a game, which is very, very high for a set position player.
Gale, who's running with McGuane. And you talk about possessions, Mickey McGuane's been getting more kicks in the competition than anyone this year.
Well, Mick McGuane is the prototype player of the 90s, a running player, probably the best running player in the business at the present time, and a clear example of how to mind a player but still work off him and be dangerous.
It's bucketing down. Boyd against his former club. Mitchell, handball okay. Fraser, good kick in the circumstances. Got 25 metres out of nothing, out of bounds at half-back.
And that's the value of Barry Mitchell, getting the ball from the pack, starting off the attack with a quick handball. Fraser good enough on that occasion to swing it round and gain some yardage for Collingwood.
The rain tumbling down here at Princes Park. Conditions difficult for the players. Slippery ball. Christian tries to backhand it. That's a quick hand pass coming out to Armstrong. That was from Boyd. Williams tries to sock it off the ground. Now Manson does. Boyd again, a former Collingwood player himself. In towards half forward. Richardson goes to ground. Sock it off the ground away from him. That was from Doc Wheildon. And there's a human glove, as I like to call him, Michael Gaffer. Took the place of Graham Wright in the side. A late withdrawal, Graham Wright. So forward pocket for Fitzroy. As they work hard, it's tapped on, socket off the ground towards the half-back line. Fraser was there. Now Tony Shaw scooped it up. The umpire allowed it to Williams. Williams to centre wing. Krasiska tries to backflip it over, but he got into the back of Marcus Seacamp. Free kick to Fitzroy.
Centre wing. Wheildon and Gaffer. Morwood and Lyon out of play. Mickey Gaffer getting a chance, as Peter McKenna said, with Graham Wright failing a fitness test. McCarthy had a good year, but so's his former club, North Melbourne. Would continue to inspire him, you reckon. There's Baldwin. Lynch in front. He's a very good player. Gerard, he's capable of being a superstar. He's not far away. Could be one of the dominant players in the AFL.
Probably just a season or two at full forward away from being a superstar. It's difficult to be that playing at full back. I'm not as confident as you, Bruce, in his goal-kicking ability.
Well, he just never misses when I watch him, Gerard.
And he hasn't missed on that occasion either.
2 out of 2. Well, what did Meatloaf say? 2 out of 3 wasn't bad.
Well, this is even one better. And already he will be giving Lee Matthews something to think about. McGuane a pretty good job against Jason Dunstall last week, and it just continues to bucket down here at Princess Park. So conditions are getting very, very difficult for players. And Fitzroy keeping their forward line well open with Gale in the pocket.
Well, they've still got that loose man down there. It's Mick McGuane getting into that hole as they did against Hawthorn. There he is, on his own. Martin McCarthy kicked it straight to him. They did that successfully last week. They kicked the Williams. Paul Williams. Free kick behind the play.
It was just a bump, Peter.
I didn't see it, Gerard.
Just a little bump. Ryan tried to get in the way of Shaw, and he gave him a little bit of a side bump, and down went wide.
Well, here's Lynch again. Oh, he nearly got it. A free kick. A free kick to Lynch against McGuane. It looked to be a one-on-one, man-on-man contest. Didn't look to be a lot in it. But the free kick has been... But let's have a look. They're both pushing, shoving. Oh, no, he grabbed him by the arm.
Yes, good decision from the umpire that time.
The free kick definitely there. He was grabbed by the arm. Well, Alastair Lynch, who I regard as the best fullback in the competition, a chance to kick his third goal. Alastair Lynch from 40 metres. Swings it back. He's kicked his third.
Yeah, fantastic start to Fitzroy here. And Alastair Lynch has kicked 100% of Fitzroy's total so far, 3 goals straight. So he's really giving me something to think about, doubting his goal-kicking ability. But I guess that's proven over a long period of time in front of the big sticks. Have a look at the rain, it's incredible.
Case of deja vu here. Lynch scored 3 of the goals for Fitzroy against West Coast to give them a kick start, and he's done it again. in totally different conditions. And this won't worry Fitzroy, you wouldn't reckon, these conditions.
No, they're pretty pacey, plenty of small men, but so are Collingwood. They've got lots of pace.
Look at Tony Shaw, unhappy. It's Ross Lyon to do with his... well, he's just a bit of byplay by Shaw there to do with the cask around
He is a character.
Lyon's wrist and lower arm, and just checking that everything was in order. Might have thought he got one. Just playing a bit. Armstrong's kick Zanotti down in the forward line. Should give off the handball. Oh, clever. Now Lynch steadies. Centering kick, not a good one. Wine versus Francis. Well played, Wine. Boyd missed it.
Well done, Mitchell.
Did it very well. And a good take, though, by Johnston, who's been one of the surprise packets. He's got the job on Russell. Seacamp to Zanotti. And for the moment, Collingwood at 6s and 7s as Fitzroy have applied early pressure.
A terrific pickup by Mark Zanotti too from the Brisbane Bears. I thought he was a great player up there. Zanotti is chipping it in short. Oh, Lynch drops it. Hand pass comes back to Morwood. Morwood to the wide open spaces. The race is on. Armstrong is there. So is Mick McGuane. It's a loose ball. Krasiska on the Mitchell. And the umpire has found a free kick. It will go the way of Fitzroy, will it?
Pretty good tactical battle here between Collingwood and Fitzroy. McGuane's picking up Gale, but obviously Shaw wants McGuane out of the action, so he's putting Gale way over, out of the action on the boundary line.
Good coaching by Robert Shaw as we see Manson in towards full forward. It's over the back. Again the loose ball, almost a soccer off the ground by McCarthy. Tapped back by Michael Christian, and he puts it over the line, forward pocket.
Well, this must be one of the worst days you've ever seen at the moment. This is almost the unplayable, isn't it?
We've been blessed this year with weather, haven't we?
Well, there was a bloke I saw just recently picked up a hammer, is going to build the ark. If this keeps up, we're all in trouble.
We've heard of the unplayable Lyon golf. This is just about the unplayable in footy. The skill level is, well, it's going to test them, isn't it? One grab here would be a real bonus at any time today. And if you could pinch another couple of goals, and if you're the Lions, it'll be a handy break off the ground. Gale out of play.
Well, that two-goal break, it might seem a stupid thing to say so early in the day, but it's a terrific break under these conditions.
It's already
Jared.
magnified, hasn't it?
It's worth half a dozen, Pete, you reckon, on that?
Well, it's worth an extra couple, I would think.
Here's Gale. Handball to Wine. Clever. Baldwin. Free kick, no. Look for it. Mitchell was tackled cleverly off the ground. Fraser. Gale goes bang. Vacant goal square. Richardson to take it. Well played Dundas, but he did interfere, I guess. And Richardson's free kick. Have a look at the background there with the water streaming down with the cans and the papers. And it must be the most difficult day imaginable for a footballer.
Manson gets it to Wind. Oh, a chance for Fitzroy here. They've got numerous players round the ball. Quick hand pass out the Baldwin. He hand passed when he should have kicked. Morwood, difficult conditions. Roderick slips over. He goes to ground. They dive in on top of it, and this is going to be a low-scoring affair, I think, Jared.
Yes, a hard slog here. Certainly will come down to guts and courage as much as any skill and tactics that the coaches may imply.
Manson, Monkhorst. Monkhorst wins it. Boyd just gave it off. Roderick tried to break a tackle. Gale, Wine. Quick kick, probably a good tactic in these conditions. Well done, Armstrong. Zanotti. Still Zanotti. Had to concede ground. The tackle was good by Richardson. Broderick not the right option that time. Shaw to Mitchell. It was good footy to Williams in that centre square. Drop punt, neat kick. Seacamp in the front. Krasiska played him like a defender. Oh, Baldwin, good take. Handball loose. Missed by McGuane. Seacamp goes in strongly. They're coming now as... over the top was Boyd. Russell's quick kick. Krasiska will probably swing onto his left. Waits. Tried to give a handball off. Wasn't very effective. Francis, almost unrecognisable, out of bounds on the fall.
Well, one thing you can't do in conditions like this is attempt a U-turn, as we saw Tony Francis do there. No grip on the ground. He went to ground and kicked it out the bounds.
Wheildon, the flyer, gave away a free kick in the back. Good umpiring. Advantage paid. Alan Richardson to the half-forward line. Up they go. You won't be able to take those one-grab marks today. There's going to be two bites of the cherry, and the ball is going to be on the deck most of today, I would think. There's Brad Boyd. Discarded by Collingwood, number 34 you see on screen. When he was only a young player, he felt he wasn't quite up to it, but he's out to prove himself an AFL player and doing pretty well. There's Armstrong, not able to get his boot to it. You watch the pace of Zanotti here. He gets his boot into it towards the half-forward line, a loose ball. Here's a chance. John McCarthy, formerly of North Melbourne, kicks it up in the air. Alastair Lynch versus Ronnie McGuane. Over the back, Zanotti kicks it. A chance for Fitzroy. Gale can run into an open goal for a certainty. Fitzroy on fire.
There's two Fitzroy players left alone there. Quite a fortuitous kick forward there for Fitzroy as we see McCarthy swing the ball down the ground. Then the ball comes quickly to the ground. Fitzroy players running forward, and an easy pick up and goal to Gale.
It's a big lead in the context of this match. 18 points, 4 goals to a goal. The goal by Gale. Shaw. Seacamp. Front spot was Dundas. Here's Broderick. It's been touted as a state of origin player. McCarthy, who's won the football very well. Watson with him. Oh, well played, McCarthy. Great skills. Left foot. The doctor in the front spot. With him is Gafer. And Pete, I guess a poetic justice that the glove's on the doctor today, the human glove. And a good move by Robert Shaw with Zanotti going down to pick Watson up, who had been very damaging early.
Well, Watson's very quick, and so is Zanotti. There's the kick by McCarthy. In towards half forward again. Manson is there. Fisted away. Wine, the second fumble. But it's a difficult ball. He brings it back to Lynch and McGuane. And a free kick to McGuane against Alastair Lynch for holding on. Ronnie McGuane did a fine job last week on the Hawthorn champ Dunstall. Francis at half-back. Now he's got an option of 2 players here. Well, we mentioned about the running ability of Mickey McGuane. There he is. On to Richardson. Richardson to half-forward, Scott Russell. But over the back is David Johnston. Trapped it well. On the left foot. Zanotti punches at the ground. Was good play. Waiting for it is Mick McGuane. A touch of the fumbles. Gale gets it out. Zanotti inside. Another one coming up to Fitzroy here. Matthew Dundas brings it in towards goal and slams it through for goal number 5. Great team play by Fitzroy, Jared.
Well, there's a side on fire at the present time, and it's Fitzroy, 5 goals straight. The 4-goal lead is very handy at this time in these conditions. Mick McGuane there slipping over. Gale creating some problems for Collingwood because he has dragged McGuane out of the contest. And good conversion from Dundas. We've often been critical of him in his kicking, but not that time. Well done.
It's his 50th league goal. 24-point margin. Krasiska's hip and shoulder was a beauty on Armstrong. Roos had an airy. And free kick going to Roos over the shoulder. 4 times the best and fairest at the club. One of the most celebrated players, certainly in the history of the Fitzroy Footy Club. Seacamp to Elliott, who's got the job on Rowe. Centering kick. Richardson attacked it strongly with confidence. Not easy to do today, and took the mark. Fitzroy won the toss, kick to the left-hand side, appears to be aided by the slightest of breezes, but not this big a breeze, as Rowe kicks to centre wing. Brown in front, good take against Roos. Back after a couple of weeks with Achilles problems, he's kicked towards centre wing. Boyd. Good take again by Roos. The handball was a beauty. Armstrong's got a bit of time. Low drop punt, Lynch on a long lead. Baldwin round the corner. Richardson to take it on his chest.
Yes, and Robert Shaw won't like that uncontested because Dundas had slipped over. Now, Gafer, Mick McGuane working across half-back line. Brings it to centre wing. Monkhorst and Manson. Manson in front. Sockers it off the ground. Goes to get it again. Well played by Big James. Goes to ground. There's Gavin Brown and the umpire. Oh, tough. That was very tough under these conditions on Gavin Brown. I thought he was making a legitimate attempt to get that out, but a beautiful kick across to Baldwin. And that was by McCarthy Jason Baldwin, gee, they're playing with confidence. Fitzroy, look at this torpedo punt kick, a 60-metre one. Lynch waiting at the back is Dundas. Dundas will get there first. Has a snap at goal. Oh, he's put it right through for goal number 6. Unbelievable. Well, Fitzroy can do no wrong. Great quarter, 6 goals straight in wet conditions, Gerard. But Collingwood one solitary goal.
Yes, it's been a fantastic onslaught by Fitzroy, and this is a marvellous goal by Dundas. It always looked like he was going to get it. Took the best spot at the back of a pack with a wet ball, a heavy ball, and what a classical torpedo.
6 goals straight, Fitzroy. Amazing. Brown sliding through the centre. The kick up to centre half forward. Rowe hanging on to Elliott. Free kick to Fitzroy. That's 11 free kicks to 5 in this opening term.
It's all started in the centre of the ground, Bruce. They are dominating centre bounce takeaways 5-2, and it's setting up their win, or their lead at this stage.
Monkhorst, well played though by Wine to thump it back. Mitchell over the top, got rid of it a bit quickly. Krasiska going to ground. Brown, good umpiring. Both Krasiska and Brown played for free kicks.
Well, it's important in these conditions to let it flow a bit, Gerard, isn't it?
Yes, and also important for players not really to finesse. There was a quick little handball there from Mitchell, perhaps just a knock on. Anything going your way with the football will be accepted by coaches today. A kick off the ground, a knock on, anything getting the ball forward.
Monkhorst very short, but finds Watson. Rain suddenly abating. Russell on the lead. Johnston going with him. Wine. Russell off the ground. Rocca to stretch down. Good take, big fellow. Roos runs it over the line, out of play. Collingwood need one.
Yes, that's a huge lead under these conditions. It's only a slight breeze going to left of screen. It's just been great team play by Fitzroy that's given them this 5-goal lead. They need one here. Rocca. Rowe. Off the ground. No, he can't get back there before it rolls over the line behind to the Magpies. They need goals. 6 goals straight, Fitzroy, in this onslaught. Getting towards, well, 6.5 minutes to go towards the end of this term, and Collingwood certainly, Gerard couldn't allow another Fitzroy goal.
Well, there's no need to panic yet, I guess, Peter. It is a big lead, but it's amazing how many times we see sides burst away to a big lead in the first quarter, and then it evens itself up by half-time.
Yeah, but under wet conditions, I think it's a lot more difficult.
Accentuates it, no question.
It certainly does. Now, here's a free kick here at half-forward going the way of Collingwood, is it?
He's holding the man paid against McCarthy.
It will go to Morwood. Morwood to Christian. Christian can go to Gaffer. No, he doesn't give it off. He kicks it to centre wing, one-on-one contest. Over the back is Gavin Krasiska. He's trying to get round on the left foot. Went for the big turn, as Gerard said earlier. You've just got to get it and boot it.
Yeah, so it's a bit difficult there. He had to get round, or perhaps maybe give a handball to Fraser. But U-turns in wet conditions like this are an absolute no-no. And good to see young Kent Butcher up on the boundary line, Peter, about to have his first run in AFL football.
Good take, Francis. Round his body, hugging the line. Williams running with it. It was out.
I knew you'd get a big thrill out of Kent Butcher coming on, Gerard, after you predicted him a couple of weeks ago, after seeing him play for 1 minute.
A typical Collingwood player, a running, long-kicking, very quick and mobile player.
Mitchell, high tackle, free kick against Manson.
Oh, Manson couldn't argue with that one, surely. Christian off.
Yeah, obviously wanting to get some more legs onto the ground.
Rocca. Brown goes to ground. Seacamp claims a free kick, so does Boyd. And it'll be a throw up at about 45 metres out from Collingwood's goal. Attacking but trailing by 5. Roos, quick one. Wine getting another touch. Didn't go all that far. Gales had an impressive opening term. Free kick surely that time. All over the top of Armstrong. The advantage has been given. Here's Baldwin. Left foot. Wheildon. Gaffer. Body to body. Mickey Gaffer does all right. Dundas has had an effective first term. Now the doctor. Wheildon's left foot. Okay. A good one.
Yes, McCarthy and Lynch had interchanged. McCarthy coming out to centre half. Sorry, McCarthy going to full forward and Lynch going to centre half. And already that move has paid off. They're interchangeable side now, Fitzroy, haven't they?
They're a very good side.
And when you have an innovative coach, it all works out pretty well. 6 kicks McCarthy, a couple of marks. His first go for goal. It'll take a very good kick in the conditions. He'll kick it from 50. Low drop punt, gives it a hook, and Fitzroy missed for the first time today. 6-1-1-1.
Ken Butcher's come onto the ground. He's picking up Ross Lyon. Christian off. Obviously, Collingwood thought they were a shade too heavy down on that forward line and wanting to get a bit more pace onto the ground.
I just can't help thinking this is a huge deficit to make up under these conditions. It'll take a great effort by Collingwood from here. I know it's early as it's tapped down towards Zanotti, who's done a lot of good little things on that half-forward line. And found a free kick here, and it looks like Armstrong. Matthew Armstrong, he and Broderick, the two lookalikes. No, it's going back to Zanotti. I think they'd rather Armstrong kick that one, Fitzroy. Mark Zanotti, oh, good kick. Lynch, oh, great pass by Mark Zanotti. Not known for his kicking, but what a great lead by Lynch.
Yes, into space, and that was a problem for Collingwood. They haven't blocked up that gap, and Lynch has found space as we see Ross Lyon coming off the ground. And Michael Dunstan coming onto it for his first run for the afternoon. Zanotti quite impressive on the half-forward line. Pace has been his big asset today, and the fact that he's getting in and getting the football play.
Well, he's been a great player for Fitzroy all year. I thought he was a top player for the Bears, actually. He's going for goal number 4, Alastair Lynch, from directly in front. It's to the right, and easily excused that kick under the wet conditions. Hard to get a footing, trying to get that extra distance.
Well, it's interesting the way Peter Dacos kicks in these conditions. He only kicks off one step, so he doesn't lose his footing. Often the theory says that you take a longer run up, but one of the great goal kickers of our time believes it's all wrong.
McGuane, the thump away by Lynch was effective. Gained 5-6 metres. Francis and Mitchell, a couple of the smaller Collingwood players, hold it up at centre half back. Well, a goal here for Fitzroy would be a disaster for Collingwood. Monkhorst won it. Baldwin got a little shove from Fraser. Francis had an airy. Morwood was off the ground. Seacamp got a little boot to it. Krasiska and Roos. It'll run to the line. Roos will be happy to see that result out of play. 2.5 minutes remaining in an exciting and enterprising opening term, and Fitzroy taking all the honours at this stage. Well, it's 6-2 to 1-1.
We've got to remember they beat the Eagles in Perth last Friday night. They're in form.
Quick kick away by Seacamp. Here's Butcher. His first touch. Well, he was under great pressure. Some players kick a goal in their first touch in league footy. Well, Kent didn't have that result, but you couldn't blame him. He was good enough to get the ball, but under great pressure out on the fall.
Well, Dundas gives across the hand pass. Jason Baldwin will go for the long kick. It's in towards Dunstan, a magnificent kick.
The passing into the forward line, Peter, has been exemplary today, and if they continue that, Collingwood are in for a pretty torrid afternoon.
Now, this guy is a great kick for goal, and he'll certainly need a great kick from there on the boundary line. 40 metres from goal. Here's a beautiful kick. Look at that. Look at that for a goal right through the middle. Fitzroy on fire. Michael Dunstan just onto the ground, kicks his first, and things are not looking good for the Magpies.
They're looking pretty average, I must admit, Peter, and this is a marvellous pass. Dunstan, as Peter so rightly called it, is a terrific kick at goal. He's shown in only his 8 games of AFL football. He is a pretty intuitive player, a person with what we call a football brain.
Minute 18 remaining, 44-7. Wind off the ground. Zanotti, clever, a good play, got rid of Watson. Again off the ground by Wine. McCarthy. The ball to be won. Armstrong went in hard. The handball by Boyd was a bit hot for Zanotti, but Zanotti played it like a backman. Wine again went for the soccer. Francis over the top. Armstrong with the time, but Shaw cut it off in front of Broderick. Left foot round his body, doesn't go far. The tackle on Johnston got lower and lower as it went down, but originally it was a good one. Francis's kick up the centre wing. Roos versus Brown. Brown versus Roos. A couple of champions, as Gerard Healy told us earlier. Krasiska back to Williams. Here's a chance. Drop punt. Bang. Hook. Out on the fall. Oh, it mightn't be the Maggies' day today.
I don't think so, not the way it's going.
An unusual role for Paul Williams. He's playing in the centre, picking up one of Fitzroy's best players in Armstrong.
Paxman wide. Armstrong just taps it to the boundary line. And with 20 seconds remaining, it's going to be Fitzroy's quarter. And it might be Fitzroy's match after this quarter.
Geez, you're jumping off the bandwagon quickly, you two fellas.
Well, it's a big lead on a wet day, Jared.
Next goal wins, Jared.
Not yet, I don't think so.
Hey, listen, he's got one right in his career. Don't give him another one.
Quarter time. 7-2 to 1-1. Start of the second term at Princess Park, an amazing scoreline. Considering the conditions here, 7-1. Gale's kick out of the centre. Zanotti, who's playing across half forward. Good handball to Wheildon. Brings it back. Morwood in the front spot. Richardson. Butcher. The rookie in his first game. Kick to half back. Baldwin, who had a terrific opening term. Drop punt to centre half forward. Zanotti again playing it like a defender, giving the other forwards a chance to run at it. Williams. Good play. Chipped it over. Saw Mitchell loose to McGuane. Now Collingwood run. McGuane runs 10 metres, kicks to centre half forward. Paxman in the front spot, couldn't hang on. Rowe went to handball, left foot. Watson up forward with a chance. Seacamp after him. It's a dry ball, remember, and was that out on the full? It was. Against Seacamp. And Watson in the pocket. Now he started as a goal kicker. Watch this. Unlucky Seacamp. Well, Watson went to kick it towards Rocca, and Paxman just coming in to take the mark. So Fitzroy's who to defend.
I think he tried a banana kick, actually. Bruce, as we see Paxman very cool in the crisis then. Well, Manson almost gave away a free kick. Ruse was grabbed when he didn't have it. So free kick to Ruse. Very intelligent player, Paul Ruse. Good leader. Intelligent play then too to give it to Armstrong, one of the long kicks in the side. That's a good mark.
So Armstrong's lining up on the wing, but he's basically playing as another centreman for Fitzroy, running all over the ground. Had 5 possessions to date.
So Mickey Gaffer, or an ordinary kick straight off the side of the boot, and we'll see plenty of that today as Baldwin, who Bruce said had a great first term, takes it over the line. It's on centre wing. 7 goals to Fitzroy. Collingwood 1-1. Manson against Monkhorst. Tony Shaw, a quick little kick. Williams caught. Gets his boot to it to the half-forward line. Thumped the ground. Ruse heads for the boundary line. Waiting out there was Russell. And eventually it's forced by Broderick over the line. Again for a throw-in. This time at half-forward for the Magpies.
Trying to get something going here. Collingwood, top of the table coming into this round. Just 1 defeat for the season against St Kilda. So 2 of the top 4 teams in action here. Fitzroy have surged up the table. Mitchell free kick, ridden into the ground.
It's a pretty stupid free kick actually to give away, wasn't it? What's going on here?
Barry Mitchell from centre wing. Low drop punt. Wine missed it. Francis. Shaw. Fraser. Rocca at the back. Paxman in the front. Rowe and Wine running it to the line and out of play. Fitzroy playing with tremendous spirit. Collingwood now matching them, but they're giving away a big start.
It is a huge start under these conditions. If Collingwood can get out of this, it would be a huge win for them. There's the big fist back in front of goal. Elliott, crunched. Knocked away towards Tony Shaw. Broderick is there also. Collingwood supporters appealing for a free kick. Here's Mick McGuane trying to get onto the right foot. Now he's on the left. Straight up in the air. The umpire will call play on here. A big fist away was by Seacamp. Here's McCarthy and Morwood. Taken by McGuane again. Even with his wet ball, he's getting plenty of the ball. Krasiska in towards the pocket. Rocca has it fisted away. Jimmy Wine, a quick kick. Again, it's in the hands of McGuane. He's a good player, Mickey McGuane. In towards Francis. They're desperate. Difficult to control that ball. Rocca a quick hand pass, an excellent one. Morwood slips over. A quick hand pass again in towards Mitchell. Mitchell puts it on the ground. Taps it on to Tony Shaw. Back to Francis, who puts the head down and burrows in. And eventually Fitzroy just socked it off the ground and put everyone out of their misery over the line.
Yes, I think Collingwood are basically trying to play dry with a football with quick handballs and little deft kicks. They've just got to get the ball forward. Otherwise, we're going to be playing with big packs, ugly packs all over the ground throughout the game.
Russell over the top. Free kick. Went with it, Russell, but torpedo punt. Oh, great mark. Bodied them out of it, Rocca, and then took a diving mark over the back.
It was a good mark, wasn't it, Jerry?
Yes, have a look at this super sav. Good positioning of the foot of the body and safe hands in wet conditions.
It's kicked Collingwood's only goal to date. It's very early in the match. He replied to Lynch's, and that's not the result the Maggies needed from there. You do get a feeling some days that it's just not a team's day. But whilst it's early days, things are not happening for Collingwood.
Well, with that heavy rain, all those little short kicks from 30 metres, they're magnified by 20, aren't they?
Here's Paxman. Now, Johnston's very short for him if he wants him. Wine's short. He's got a couple of options if he's prepared to take the chance. He does, and he decides to go to Elliott. And Fraser was with him. Still not out of play. And I think Paxman wasn't too disappointed with the end result there.
Great punch back from Mark Fraser there. Worthy of a kick. Collingwood using the zone defence to advantage there. And under these conditions, short kicks will be definitely out. Long ones from the goal square.
It was punched down the ground by Paxman. That's Armstrong to Gale. Oh, it's hooked out beautifully towards Seacamp. Seacamp around the boundary line. That was excellent defensive play by Fitzroy then. Team play.
So I'm not sure Collingwood aren't doing themselves a disservice having Paul Williams following Armstrong everywhere. I still think he is their best option up in the forward pocket. And perhaps they could interchange him and get him into the goal square somewhere.
Well, that was Manson and Monkhorst. Wine has a fresh air shot. Kicked off the ground. Russell to Shaw. Shaw to half forward. The mark was a page. Yes, it was to Damian Monkhorst. On to Tony Shaw. Shaw in towards full forward. Paxman at the back. Races back. He should force this through here. He does.
That's the one I'm talking about, Peter. The ball over the back of the pack. You just need to have a rover there. I know they've got Brad Rowe, but in these conditions, almost every player, other than Rocca, should be just a crummer on that forward line.
And the ball will come over the back a lot under these slippery conditions. 7-2 to 1-3. As we see Stephen Paxman again kicking to Elliott. He punches it on. That was intelligent play. On it comes to Broderick. It's a free kick back to Elliott. Worked to their disadvantage then, but then again, they might have gone the other way. Good umpiring. Elliott to centre wing. Fisted the ground. Racing after it is Baldwin, who's been excellent. Now McCarthy. John McCarthy. Butcher cleverly. A good little tap. Shaw goes to ground. They come in on top of him. Umpire calls play on. Fitzroy players swarm in on top of Tony Shaw. Here's a loose one with McCarthy. He soccers it off the ground. Richardson takes a dive on top of the ball. Umpire sensibly calling play on. And now he'll come in and probably throw it up here.
Well, this is where Collingwood could get badly hurt. They've had the ball in the forward line for 7 or 8 minutes, haven't got a goal, and suddenly Fitzroy countering attack. Collingwood must hold it up here. It's important for them. Off the ground by McGuane. They should... Well played, Krasiska to Russell. So they have held up that attack. McGuane starting to have an influence. Touches it. Tries a torpedo. Gets distance in the end. Seacamp just holds it up. Baldwin, good handball. Elliott, well, he did it very well to Armstrong to Gale, and Gale should charge away. Brown's in pursuit. Still Gale. Runs a long way. Good kick towards Lynch. Taken off Wheildon. Collingwood to counter-attack. McGuane to Brown. Brown from centre wing measures the kick to Rowe. Now Rowe's got players everywhere in the centre calling for it. Again a torpedo punt. Rocca front spot. Paxman at the back. Seacamp. Left foot, good one. Beauty in these conditions to get another 20 metres and out.
Yes, as we said at quarter time, that is a huge lead under wet conditions, and you can see how difficult it is for Collingwood to score goals with that slippery ball. 44-9. Rocca has looked dangerous up at full forward, and he's 6'5". He can do the ruck work. Mitchell is there, and Francis. Still Francis. Terrific play, Tony Francis. It really deserves something better because he worked very, very hard, but under pressure he puts it through for a behind.
Yes, well, I believe Collingwood are being beaten at their own game at the present time. You look all around the ground. Fitzroy is the side with the runners. Really have deflated that advantage or that perceived advantage that we thought Collingwood had.
Straight down the ground, Paxman. Boyd was the target. Mitchell almost took a good mark. Broderick. Play on called. Here's Williams. Good give, McGuane. Brown. Normally a good kick. Drop punt. Goal. Just what the Maggies wanted. Their champion kicks a goal, and they get their second.
Well, once again, trying to counter the zone defence. Fitzroy went straight down the middle. They flooded the centre of the ground. They only had one man to beat Mitchell. He held it up well for Collingwood. And finally it came down to Brown through that turnover there, a vital turnover. Collingwood get on the scoreboard.
So back to the centre. The Magpies certainly have lifted their game. Some of their teamwork in this quarter has been excellent. The Fitzroy players trying to get a wild kick in the pack. And the umpire will come in and throw it up again. But Collingwood certainly have picked up their game. 44 plays 16. Still a long way to go for the Magpies.
Collingwood have moved Francis down onto the forward pocket. So now they've got Rowe and Francis there, giving him that much needed crumbing ability.
Well, here it is at centre wing. Tapped on. That's Scott Russell off the ground. John McCarthy went without it. Great pick-up Morwood. Tremendous skill. Off the side of the boot. Terrific mark by Francis with strength. The short one is on. And racing into the hole is McGuane. Onto the left foot, Mickey McGuane. Rocca back with the flight. Has taken an excellent mark. He can give it to Watson now. Kick it now. Rocca. He's off. Umpire calls play on. Rocca looking for a hand pass. Rowe trying to get around. Here's a chance now. Paul Williams, a high floating kick. I think he's dumped this. He has. Great play, the Magpies. Paul Williams kicks his first. They worked very hard for that. 7-2 plays 3-4. They're coming back, Collingwood.
Yes, a poor bit of play there from Rocca. Really tried to do two things at once. Should have made up his mind and gone for the one definite option. But they got out of it with a goal from their best forward pocket option at the present time, Paul Williams.
Collingwood coming back at Fitzroy. They've kicked a couple of goals in a couple of minutes. Shaw tries it out of the centre. Armstrong's kicked to half forward. Krasiska. Zanotti with him. Worries him out. Lynch, who kicked 3 goals in the opening term. Russell dives and takes the mark. So Collingwood coming back like the outstanding team they are. Mitchell with a stretch. Williams unable to get it to Shaw. Shaw over the top. Just hands it over to Mitchell. Morwood up. Good play there by Manson to actually take it off Morwood's boot and out of play.
A lot of 1-yard handballs being given at the moment by both sides. They'd be better off taking the football and getting it out to a man that is clear.
Monkhorst and Manson. Free kick to Monkhorst.
Well, you told me about that one, Bruce.
Francis front spot. Second mark against Wine in a couple of minutes. Brown runs for him. This will be a contest. Well, Roos took that one. Just hands on the back of Brown for a while, but handball. Johnston. Rocca puts some pressure on. Johnston forced to go very wide. Baldwin and Fraser. And out of play. Jason Baldwin, who today's had 8 kicks and 5, played 63 matches, just missed 1 of the 8 matches so far this season.
Terrific quarter by Collingwood. They really have lifted. Tony Shaw, a clash of heads on that occasion. And both players, Jimmy Wine and Tony Shaw. Now, whose kick? It's going to be a Fitzroy kick, I think. Some indiscretion in the pack. Tony Shaw always a delayed reaction that he did the block.
The umpire shouldn't put your hand on the head. That's the point there, Macca.
And 50 metres.
If a player did that, he'd be suspended for a long time. Now, that's just not on from the umpire.
Tony Shaw, has he got blood there?
Yeah, so he lost his cool a little bit. It was only a clash of heads, and he retaliated. Free kick was there, but umpires just should keep their hands away.
Michael Gale in towards full forward, mark to Wheildon. Excellent lead, and the Doc Wheildon has marked 35 metres out from goal, almost directly in front. So they've got a good two-pronged attack up there, well, three-pronged actually.
Got a very good forward line, very well balanced, and particularly suited to wet conditions as we have at the moment.
So a vital kick in the context of this game. Fitzroy haven't been forward very often in this term. He is a pretty long kick, Darren Wheildon, so the distance shouldn't be a problem. Slippery conditions. Darren Wheildon kicks it low and he's hooked it. So very difficult to get your footing. And Mickey McGuane having plenty to say to him. That would have been a handy one to Fitzroy, but still the margin is just under 4 goals. Waddy McGuane to bring it down the centre of the ground.
Monkhorst his target. Good stretch by McCarthy though at the back to spoil him. Free kick to Shaw.
They must be kidding.
No, to Mitchell it is. Shaw running back as if he was going to take it.
Well, Jared and I couldn't believe that, Bruce.
Fraser. Morwood. Short left-footed to centre-half forward. Brown. Roos touching him. Brown gets a free. Things happening now for Collingwood. Rocca into the slot. Can't quite get there. Or stood up though. Boyd off the ground. Johnston, well played. Seacamp. Manson. Got a very favourable bounce. Takes Monkhorst on. Gets around him. McCarthy at the back. Morwood at the front.
Good attempt by Morwood, wasn't it?
He's had a very good game to date, Shane Morwood. Just having a look at Monkhorst. Perhaps Collingwood would be better with Christian back onto the ground. Pretty mobile.
Here's Monkhorst in question. Manson goes very early and gives away a free kick.
Monkhorst gives them that first use of the football at boundary throw-ins, but against that, I think Christian perhaps would be a little bit more suited to these conditions.
Monkhorst to the half-forward line, punched away. There's Baldwin playing for the free kick then taps it out to Boyd. Boyd into Gale. Gale a very quick hand pass to Zanotti. Zanotti in towards Wheildon and Lynch. Lynch with 2 hands. Kick by Dundas. Oh, it's a great goal by the little rover. Along the ground for his 3rd. Handy one to Fitzroy when Collingwood were doing all the attacking. 8-3 plays 3-4.
And he's having an absolute field day. Matthew Dundas at goals has kicked 3. So we see Ross Lyon come back onto the ground. But in his 63 career games, he's only kicked 49 goals, plus what he's got today. So he hasn't been known as a great goal-kicking rover, but he's turning that on its head today.
3 goals to Dundas, 8-3 to 3-4. Gale's had an excellent match, went off the ground. Lynch and Fraser go for it with Baldwin. Lynch taps it forward. Baldwin runs into Krasiska. Morwood, who has been good. That handball held up. Krasiska chips it round the body. Gives Gale a chance to come in. It was a slow kick by Krasiska. Fraser up to Shaw. Shaw with pace. Oh, puts it on the ground. Like a young colt. Monkhorst twists and turns. The handball was behind Williams. Stops and props and takes a couple of men on. Back to Shaw. He's playing a real captain's game as he always does. 2 players miss. Rowe misses. Wine did well. Rocca gets him. Throws him to the ground. Seacamp, who's been terrific. So's Gale. And Fitzroy repel it again. And Seacamp brings it out of the fence.
Marcus Seacamp to half-forward. This will be over the back for Shaw. Alastair Lynch, use of the body. Sockers it off the ground. It's a great kick, 2 to the pocket. That's all he wanted, to get it up into that forward area. Good thinking by Alastair Lynch. And you could see that was definitely going to come over the back of Morwood and Lynch in flight. Ronnie McGuane.
Gavin Krasiska's that Starcevich has come onto the ground. Kent Butcher has come off the ground.
So it's forward pocket.
Thought Brad Rowe could have given the quick handball to a Collingwood player. I think it was Mitchell there running into an open goal.
Well, here's Lynch, a danger player, gets in the hand pass. He was looking for Gale. Back up support. The whole line was cocked high. Yes, he was. The umpire's paying holding the man. I thought it was round the neck, actually.
He did signal there later. He got him above the shoulder.
Now, Ross Lyon from 60 metres brings it into the pocket. Darren Wheildon, no mark. Zanotti, an open goal. He bends it back. He's missed. Oh, it just missed, didn't it? He's looked dangerous up there, Mark Zanotti.
Well, you talk about goals with Dundas, Jared. Zanotti's kicked 12 in 107 matches to date. So it hasn't been his strength, but of course he's played at the other end. But the thing for Fitzroy is that they have resisted Collingwood's charge. They've got the last goal and they've maintained a big lead because Collingwood was eating into that lead quickly. And Fitzroy's been able to at least hold up the work, so to speak. And we're back to a 5-goal margin.
It was a huge lead on a wet day, really, wasn't it?
McGuane gets good distance right to the centre square. McCarthy, who is doing the job on Monkhorst from the kick-ins. Here's Manson getting a handball. McGuane goes for it, got a good bounce, took a chance. Well played, Ronnie. Kicks it wide. Baldwin gets a lovely bounce. It sits. Left foot. A bouncing ball. Wheildon, Gafer and Dundas, and that'll be the umpires. Been a good move to have McCarthy go against Monkhorst when they kick it in because he's got the ability to jump and bring it to ground.
Oh, he's really coaching this side. Handballs, Collingwood 27-15. That's not always a good stat to see on a wet day, actually. How will the umpire see this? He's going to throw it up. Would you agree with that, Gerard? You can overdo the handball as Carlton did last night.
Yes, as I mentioned in the first quarter, Peter, I think that Collingwood have attempted to play perhaps dry weather football at occasions, giving just 1-yard handballs. And in fact, they should be getting it to a man clearer, or in fact just kicking the ball in their direction.
Well, it's just over 7 minutes to half time, and Fitzroy lead by 5 goals. What a lead. Big James Manson. They're racing at the ball, and again, that slippery ball slides over the line. Forward pocket for the Roys. Here's Michael Gale, who's been a good player. 8-4 to 3-4. Goal here would be disastrous for Collingwood. There's big Monkhorst trying to get it down. Alan Richardson around the boundary line. I think it's out in the full. It is. Kick the Baldwin. So things not going the way of the Magpies. Jason Baldwin getting on with the game. That's good player. Booming kick. This will come over the back. Oh, Lynch couldn't grab it. Dundas dives on it. There's 2 Collingwood players there. Russell to the line. And he puts it over. And Lynch, if he just waited back that little split second there, he could have marked it easily on his chest.
6.5 minutes to half-time. Manson and Monkhorst. They would have had a lot of battles at practice over the years. Armstrong, Lynch, well played. It's a goal. A good one. Number 4. Well, 9-4, 3-4.
And this is a missed kick here from Lynch, although it does get the desired result. Read the ball better than McGuane on that occasion and just floated the ball across the line.
So we go back to the centre. 6 goals the margin now. Socket off the ground by Manson. He'd be enjoying this. Brad Boyd for half forward. Dundas gets front position. His teammate actually got in the way then. Morwood gets it to Scott Russell. It's out to the wide open spaces. The race is on. David Johnston there first. Thumps it back towards Armstrong and the players. No, it's still in play, and now Francis quite happy to see it over the line. Centre wing, time clock. Just over 5.5 minutes of play left to half time.
Butcher back onto the ground. Mitchell having a rest.
Centre wing, Monkhorst, Manson, wind off the ground. Didn't go very far. Richardson just feeling for a free kick. Lyon with him. And it'll be a throw up. Monkhorst having a few things to say with Manson. They would have really G'd one another up the night before. Well, quite separately for this clash. A little extra spice. Here's Shaw, who's had a lot of touches in this quarter. And Watson, who started very well across half-back, loose, now up in the forward line, out of play.
With Mitchell coming off the ground, Fitzroy have put Brad Boyd onto Mick McGuane. Brown has come onto Armstrong.
Boyd's kick. Oh, Shaw with courage. Oh, you knew he wouldn't stop.
Oh, that's sheer courage, wasn't it?
Torpedo punt, Rocca. Paxman. Ruse. Gets a little kick away. Johnson and Gale. Well played, Brown. Got a high tackle. Got Shaw at centre-half forward, but probably not much advantage there because Brown's a much longer kick and he's going to go for one. Tried the Dacos one, Jared, off 1 foot to the goal square. Rocca was a big stretch. Rowe tried to crumb it, looking for a free McGuane. They ripped it away from him. Rowe was besieged and out of play. And gang tackling by Fitzroy at the back there to hold up Collingwood. Another change, Dunstan coming on for Fitzroy. 4 minutes remaining until half-time. At the back, Broderick. Boyd tackled hard by Francis. Shaw. Good handball to Watson. A clever kick, really. Wasn't it a good attempt?
It was a great attempt.
Well, I think he is another one that's learned a lesson from Dacos there, just bending the ball, trying to bounce it on the goal line. When it's bent that way, the first bounce usually will be a leggy, which is what was required, although in these conditions, ball will probably slip straight through. But it's important that Collingwood have moved Brown up onto the football, get him into the action. Starcevich going to centre-half forward.
Stephen Paxman has had a good battle with Rocca, but certainly these conditions made for backman with that slippery ball as we see Paxman to the half-back line. Fraser. Now, Elliott was there also, and Armstrong. Armstrong gets in the hand pass to Jason Baldwin. And it's socket off the ground by Armstrong again. McCarthy and Morwood. Monkhorst hooks it back towards the line. And Richardson, were they in his back? Holding the ball against Alan Richardson. The umpire saying he made no attempt to get rid of it. This is Michael Dunstan in towards the half-forward line. Ruse is there. Zanotti on the Ruse was good play. Now it's done to Saverio, gathered about 35 metres around that boundary line then. Very handy for Fitzroy.
I like Fitzroy's forward setup. All their smalls are staying well out on the 50-metre line, leaving Lynch one out in the square, whereas down at the other end, the Collingwood smalls are standing in front of Rocca, giving a more blocked-up effect.
Wheildon won the tap, out of play. So to this point, Collingwood has made little progress. They trail by 6-1 at quarter time. That's 37. They're now 35 behind. Again, Wheildon. Off the ground, here's Shaw, who's had 9 kicks and 4 handballs to date. 286. He's edging towards 300. Be right on the knock at the end of the season if they play in a final. And you reckon they'll do that? There's Wheildon. Butcher. Well, what ends of the scale, Jared? One man playing his first and the other one playing his 286th.
And Tony Shaw, he still gets out there and gives his heart every week, and he's certainly plenty of yap. There he is. He just keeps getting that ball in towards Brown.
Sure, Kent Butcher would hope he doesn't finish with a nose like Tony Shaw's.
It's been flattened a few times, and I think that's got something to do with the yap too.
Old Putty knows Shaw himself.
Well, here's Jason Baldwin playing a fine game. Oh, here's a mark. Yes. Clever use of the body that by McCarthy. He's a very good player in wet conditions, John McCarthy.
Just have a look at the use of the body.
That's a Tony Modra one, was it?
Well, I thought you were a bit critical of that one last week. You can't have it both ways.
I wasn't critical of it. Don Scott was. I think that's a full forward. You're allowed those at full forward, Jared.
Well, importantly for Fitzroy now, McCarthy must convert here.
As long as you just hold your ground, you don't just shove them blatantly forward.
I didn't think there was much in that one. You're allowed to protect your own body.
John McCarthy almost directly in front. This would be a very handy one to the Lions. He lays back and he has put it through for a goal, all right. Difficult for Collingwood now as John McCarthy kicks his first. And they lead Fitzroy 10-4 to 3-5, and the Collingwood supporters are stunned.
Let's having another look at that one. Well, Morwood was already a yard in front when he used his arm, I thought, legally, so well done there to John McCarthy. And it's an interesting interchange when you consider the swap of Blakey to North Melbourne and McCarthy to Fitzroy.
Lions have kicked the last 3 goals of this match and they lead 10-3. Off the ground, Armstrong. Collingwood desperate for one before half-time. Time could be against them. Here's Butcher. Quick kick. Watson out in front of Seacamp. Watson gets rid of Seacamp but can't keep the football in, out of play. We're down to about 30 seconds. What has been a great first half for the Lions. To kick 10 goals in the conditions in itself is a feat. Roos and Starcevic. Gale was there. Seacamp there, Roos and also McGuane. And half-time will beat Collingwood, you'd reckon now. So we're getting down towards 10 seconds. So Fitzroy with this massive lead. Quick kick away by Monkhorst and again out of play. And that'll be it. Half-time at Princes Park and Fitzroy leads 10-4 to 3-5. Start of the second half at Princes Park with Fitzroy 41 points in front of Collingwood. Butcher got a boot to it, but it went the wrong way. Zanotti off the ground. Had a terrific first half. Missed by Broderick. McGuane. Boyd put the tackle on him. Wheildon able to get it forward. Dundas with his 3 goals in the opening half. Shaw ran over the top of it. Here's Zanotti again. Went to ground eventually. Punch forward by McGuane. Good take, Monkhorst. Well played, big fellow. To Shaw. To Butcher. High drop punt to full forward. Rocca in the front spot. Elliott. Quick kick away. Dry footy early here. Gale swings it back. Had a paddock in front of him, only had to turn around, conceded about 50 metres. Free kick. Is it down the ground against Francis?
Yes, he was slung after he got rid of the ball. It was only a gentle sling, but the free kick was there.
Here's Elliott, Johnston to Wheildon. Gafer with him out of play.
That was funny before with Gale. He was on his own. He could have turned around and run about 40, touching it on the ground, and he went 20 metres backwards for the handball.
Fitzroy attacking early in this second half.
Well, a vital quarter for the Magpies. They've got to mount some sort of challenge now. Here's Broderick getting it to Gale. Gale's been very good. Back to Broderick. Now Baldwin. In towards the pocket. Lynch. No mark. Boyd. Boyd again. Up in the air to the pocket. Zanotti underneath it. Lynch went for the big fly, the big fist away. Here's McCarthy, a very good wet weather player. He went without it. Moore with a Shaw ball handler. And talking about Shaw, that's Shaw giving it to Ronnie McGuane. McGuane back to Shaw. He's got a big heart, Tony Shaw. He just keeps going in towards Rowe. And that's an excellent mark. Centre wing. Brad Rowe to the pocket. Oh, I don't know about that play. He should have been coming in towards centre forward, Jared.
Yes, corridor football would be better, I guess, but you must have an option there. The big fellow there, Monkhorst, led to the dead pocket.
Locks horns with Manson. It's been a day for big fellows. Monkhorst just got rid of him. Manson appealed for a free kick. Roos. His possessions have been down, as you'd expect, but he's been playing purely defensively. Butcher's kick. No mark paid. Williams, a little one. McGuane hooks it back. And a bad kick to the front of the square. Brown set himself. No mark paid or free kick. Collingwood fans are screaming, wanting one for their champion. And it'll be a throw up with Collingwood 20 metres away from goal. Needing a couple of quick ones. Paxman did the ruck work. Broderick thumped it towards the boundary line. Williams was manhandled out of it. And again, Fitzroy able to stop it. And every minute, I know we're a long way from home, but every minute at this stage is pretty handy.
They are doing well in defence by creating packs. They're slowing Collingwood up midfield, not allowing them to get the football into the forward line quickly. That's been Collingwood's strength, and that's the reason Fitzroy are well on top at the moment.
And Paul Williams and Tony Francis remonstrating with the umpire. He does a little bit too much of that, I think, Francis, but
you don't do it with your own player, do you?
No, well, Paul Williams went for that one-handed. It's a wet day. You've got to grab it with 2 hands. Now, there's Boyd putting it on the ground. Francis working hard, as he always does. and locks it in front of the Carlton Social Club. It'll be a throw up right next to the boundary line.
So Collingwood have got Fraser onto Gale for Fitzroy. Gale was a pretty good player for Fitzroy in the first half. Fraser very quiet.
Well, they went, both ruckmen went early then. They both went without it. Francis caught with the ball. This will be another throw up in that forward pocket. And he's still pushing and shoving. I just don't like that aspect of his play, pushing, shoving. So just getting back and having his kick. Oh, Wine was caught high as the kick to the half-back line. The marker's dropped. That was by young Butcher. A chance for Butcher, his first goal in AFL football, but it's forced through for a behind of the Magpies. And Jared, you're right. He shows a fair bit of football now. And one thing I've noticed about him with his wet football, he's a beautiful kick.
Yes, he has obviously got some promise. He's an ex-All-Australian Teal Cupper, played a couple of years at Geelong under-19s. But a good pick-up for Collingwood.
Paxman in towards the centre square. Starcevic ruse over the back. Krasiska. Baldwin off the ground. Wheildon. Gafer. Good umpiring, letting it go. Dundas twists, turns and gets away. Well played. Oh, the handball by Boyd, not good, but Fitzroy, a free kick coming back. Oh, that's against Fitzroy in a way because they were in with a chance there.
It was clear, wasn't it?
Well, I was having a talk to a few people at AFL House during the week, and they tell me that the statistics on the advantage rule were 8 out of 10 correct. They're down to 6 out of 10. So I don't like that rule, and I think it's about time something was done about it.
Dundas, poor kick. Gale will just try to give it to McCarthy. He wasn't quite ready for it. Now McCarthy back. Broderick gets around Shaw. Gets some distance to Lynch. Big stretch. Punched away by Fraser was okay. Krasiska goes back to Richardson. Richardson from half back to centre wing. Armstrong versus Williams in the first instance. Armstrong's kick away in a hurry. Zanotti, who we've already talked about how good he's been today. Quickly on Lynch, but ill-directed, and McGuane coming in to take the mark. Big Ronnie. Lynch with 4 goals in the first half.
Ronnie McGuane to the half-back line. Oh, almost to mark the ball when he's got backup support from McCarthy. Zanotti's been excellent. Here he is, shipping it in short. A great kick to Lynch. Intelligent play, Mark Zanotti. Now Lynch has kicked 4. It will be a difficult kick from 50.
I thought it was a poor kick from McGuane. He gave it to Kent Butcher, who had one man against he was 1 out against 3 others. On the other side of the ground, calling out all the numbers.
The distance would be a doubt. Oh, he's got onto a beautiful drop punt. It starts to swing back. Not far enough. 1 behind. But he certainly made the distance. The Fitzroy champ. And I think you could call him that, Jared.
Oh, no doubt about that. He's a great player.
Well, I rate him the best fullback in the competition from what I've seen, and he's an excellent full forward as well, Bruce.
Adding to that versatility you were talking about earlier, Peter, with this team. Here's McGuane. Oh, Dundas. Oh, you reckon the other one wasn't a good kick, Jared? What about that one?
Well, a picture tells the story, I think, Peter. Bruce. The Ronnie McGuane there really just picked the wrong option, as we said earlier in the piece. If in doubt, go long from full back. See Monkhorst coming off the ground now for Collingwood.
Dundas from 40 metres, a drop punt, and again to the near side. Dundas with 3-1. Let's look at this, Ronnie McGuane.
Yes, that's one-step kick. Pretty average execution all round.
Christian coming on and immediately into the play at half-back. Handball was ill-directed. Oh, Manson should have gone and picked the footy up.
That is ridiculous play, Manson.
Lyon. McCarthy.
He ran 10 metres past the ball to try and iron the guy out.
Well, that would be a free kick, surely.
McCarthy, poor kick to Zanotti. Really set him up. Baldwin can't break it. Now Boyd. Still Boyd. Handball. Butcher should get a free kick, and he does.
I cannot believe any player would run 10 metres past the ball to try and iron a guy out. A trip on Kent Butcher, as you could see then, that hurt him too, as the leg went out. Nice kick though by Butcher. Punched on by Christian was good play. Starcevic. Back from Watson, looking for Starcevic. On the McGuane from Williams, good play. in towards Rocca. Oh, great mark. Yes, it's been paid. He did hold on to it, and then it was thumped out of his hands. He is very good overhead, Saverio Rocca.
Well, we had a cloudburst here in the first quarter, and conditions were deplorable. Yes. Fitzroy did well. They got in first and hard for the football. They opened up a big lead, but with the drying out of conditions, Collingwood have looked better.
There's the kick from Rocca. Oh, he's hit the post from 25 metres. I do not think this is Collingwood's day. He's hit the post from 25 metres, and he is not happy, and they really did need that one.
Now back to that half-time margin. Ruse the target. Oh, good mark, wasn't it? Second mark today. 3 kicks, 5 handballs. Not normal statistics, but as we said, he's played as a stopper on Brown early. Here's Elliott at centre wing. Underrated Elliott. Broke his thumb late last year. Missed a bit of footy, but he's been very good this year. His Armstrong. Goes for one, doesn't quite get it. Gets some distance. Rowe in the front spot, or Dundas. Still Dundas. Chopped off the handball, but free kick to Dundas. Krasiska chopped the handball off, and Dundas ran into him, and he did catch him high, holding up his progress around the net.
It's a good decision from the umpire. Dundas will kick from about 35, perhaps 40 metres out, and that'll be right on his distance. They need their big men back on the goal line, Collingwood.
Kick 3, 3 goals, 1. Low drop punt, not quite there. It's a get through. I think it's a goal. It is. 4 to Dundas. Man, it was a good call, Jared, because a big man back there might have been able to put his hand on it.
Yes, Martinotti coming off the ground. Jeremy Gard coming on. His first run for the afternoon. But let's have a look at this kick. There's no doubt that Christian could have touched that. He swung his arm in the same flight trajectory as the football and simply had a poor judgment error. Costly mistake there from Christian.
Very difficult for the Magpies now, with Fitzroy scoring that first goal. As the Magpies charge in after it. That was Gafer. Shaw working hard as usual. Scott Russell on the left foot. It's off the side of the boot, way out towards half forward, and they're being pressured by these lively young Fitzroy players. And they're really starting to come of age as a football team, as is North Melbourne this year, giving a bit of excitement to the competition, these two teams. There's a free kick, and it will go the way of Starcevic, although Roos felt it was his. Craig Starcevic looks like the torpedo punt kick. Dropped short into the pocket, no mark. As umpire calls play on, Francis goes to ground, and it's locked in there, and it'll be a throw up. And Jimmy Wine working hard on Francis now. He's pretty frustrated, Tony Francis, not being able to break the shackles.
Rocca in the front spot, got the tap towards Rowe. Now Watson over it with Rocca. In fact, Rocca putting a high tackle on Watson.
Well, Tony Francis has come to that period of his career where he really must come to terms with being tagged every week. They've utilised him as in a tagging position.
It's a goal to Rocca now. The free kick, I think the goal will be allowed. It is. Rocca's second. Had the free kick anyway.
Yeah, no doubt about that free kick.
And no doubt about the goal, and what an important one it was to Collingwood. They needed that, and they need a hell of a lot more in a hurry. Good grab out of the centre of the ground, out of the ruck, I should say, and straight through the middle. Getting back to Tony Francis. He needs to come to terms with being tagged. Butcher off the ground for Monkhorst.
Manson versus Christian. Johnston tries to punch it down. Free kick. It'll go Gavin Brown's way. The Magpies will fight it out. It's a wobbly kick to the half-forward line. Almost a mark to Rocca. Not paid. Francis a quick kick. 2-on-1. Monkhorst should mark. And the Magpies starting to come back. They did it last year here. They were beaten by a point. But they were 6 goals down here at Princess Park as we watch this mark.
Yes, goes with the chest mark. I think could still be better off using the outstretched hands there, big Damian Monkhorst. But I think he's on the ground due to an injury to young Kent Butcher. They've got Barry Mitchell on the bench also. I think Collingwood now have limited choices there because both those players appear injured. Both small players in these conditions could be costly.
Damian Monkhorst for his first. He kicks. He's hit the post again. Second poster. Oh, James Manson went down. I think he'd said a few words to Monkhorst, and it was on. And Francis getting in for his chop. But I'm sure he was frustrated, Monkhorst. Manson obviously mouthed off.
Pete, he did more than mouth off. He charged into Monkhorst after the Monkhorst had kicked the point. No wonder Monkhorst reacted.
Right, well, fair enough. I missed that, Bruce. Good on you. As we see Paxman about to bring it back into play, but he's pretty enthusiastic, Manson.
Well, good on him, James Manson. He's stirring up his old teammates.
Bit of feeling, isn't it? There's a bit of feeling pre-season between these two clubs when a suggestion might have been made about Fitzroy's future. Well, that should be a free kick. Boyd from the centre square. Well, Collingwood had a couple of chances with Rocca and Monkhorst. They should be closer. McCarthy takes his time, sizes it up, goes bang. Lynch just caught out of position for the moment. Richardson concedes. (11-7 to 4-8). McGuane. Moore with the target. Oh, straight through the fingers. Shaw to butter up. Chips it to Brown. God, great attempt by Brown and being paid.
They're trying desperately to lift the Magpies.
Well, this is one man who can do it for them. Long, high torpedo punt. Monkhorst underneath it. Here's Francis. Should go. Oh, went to ground. Difficult day, I know. But looked to have a chance there, didn't he?
Well, that was set up for Collingwood. They had both Williams and Francis coming to the back of the pack. Monkhorst didn't take the grab. It was there to be picked up and goal. And Tony Francis just continued his poor afternoon.
Maybe he gets a chance here. Guard holds him up. Wine well played. Broderick. Boyd, who's done all right. Not good that time. Brown, too far out, 60 metres, chips it to McGuane, who is a long kick as we've seen in the last few weeks. On the run from 50, he's deadly. Let's see if he is from a standing start.
You see McCarthy getting his dislocated finger put back in place there by club physiotherapist.
Well, they'll need a big kick here from Mick McGuane, the Magpies. He's been a good player again. The distance might be a slight doubt with a drop punt. There's the kick. Oh, it's off the side slightly and thumped over the line. I just thought with that wet ball it was going to be a difficult kick.
They can't buy a goal at the present time, Collingwood. They have attacked quite well this quarter.
Well,
hit the post a couple of times.
And unfortunately for them, as that went through for a point, that kick off the hands. There's 11 minutes of play left in this third term, and they're really not making a huge indentation on that scoreboard. Jamie Elliott. This is guard at half back. Jeremy Guard, former Claremont player, to the half-forward line. The pack develops. Up they go. No mark. Francisco gives it straight to Dundas. Here's a chance for Doc Wheildon. He's got it at half-forward. Gives off a hand pass. Lynch trying to tap it on. He goes to ground. Francisco is there. Francisco trying to get it out. They race in after it. Here's Wheildon diving on the ball. Again, it's a loose ball. Taken away by Fraser. Mark Fraser gives it to McGuane, and the Magpies break out of defence again as McGuane kicks it wide, and the mark has been taken by Starcevic.
Torpedo punt to the 40-metre mark. No mark paid to Paxman. He held it up. Francis, free kick going to Fitzroy. To Jim Wine by the look of it. It's been good today, Wine. He's a courageous player. Johnson used his body well. I hope McGuane hasn't hurt himself there. He might have. Johnson at centre wing. Doesn't get much distance. Krasiska should take it in front of Dundas. And Mickey McGuane in a bit of trouble behind play. Christian Richardson takes Dundas on. Then centering kick. Monkhorst with a fly. Fitzroy again doing very well. Elliott, gee, I like him. Look at this kick to Broderick, who should go. Bang. The doctor. Oh no, waited. Misread it. McCarthy sits and waits. Not bad play. He knew where Lynch was. Krasiska able to go through though. Dundas not able to put any pressure on him. And Collingwood can rebound as Christian goes down to centre half forward.
Well, they're getting plenty of the ball, the Magpies, but they're just not getting the goals on the board. There's Wine. Oh, there's that loose man again. This is Armstrong, the long kick. Lynch versus Ronnie McGuane. I don't think Lynch is too fit. I've watched him the last couple of times the ball's come down and he's hardly contested. I just wonder if he might be carrying a nagging leg injury.
Well, McGuane is up and running. He was in the hands of the trainers for quite some time. The trainer put the stand and count on him. All is okay and he's back in business.
So Lynch, and coming over the top was Morwood. Now, this is McCarthy. No, it's not. It's Lyon. Dundas. McGuane. Johnston read it well, used his body well on Gavin Brown, then David Johnston. Now he's at half forward. He brings it in towards Lynch. Lynch, centre of the pack, almost to mark to McGuane. Lynch was playing for the free kick then. Mickey Gafer gets in a hand pass. Williams, plenty of Collingwood runners now. Shaw, Christian, he can give it across to Williams. A big chance for the Magpies here as Williams sets sail with a long kick. In towards Monkhorst, and Damian Monkhorst marks. Too strong.
Much better play from Collingwood there, straight down the ground. I thought Gafer was going to get himself into some trouble by ducking back. But he did come down the centre of the ground. There was plenty of Collingwood players.
I really feel the Fitzroy forwards have let their side down in the last 10 minutes, Jared. They have not worked anywhere near as hard enough when that's come down there, and Collingwood have been getting easy kicks out of defence.
Good shot at goal here.
So here's Damian Monkhorst. Kicks and slips it through for a goal. That's his first. The Magpies fight back.
In technical terms, that kick was only marginally better than his last one. However, it did bring up the desired result. Good play here from Christian, giving it to Paul Williams. A far better kick than he. And from about 60 metres out, he drives a long ball through to Monkhorst, who had the sit on his opponent in C camp and just dropped back for an easy mark.
11-7-5-9. You just wonder, don't you, if Collingwood could...
one higher then, Bruce.
Yeah, he was unlucky. Here's Brown. You just wonder if Collingwood could get a couple here. Krasiska to Shaw. Floats one into Monkhorst. Oh, Paxman did duck but put his head up. Seacamp. Ruse. Rocca gets rid of him. And it'll be a throw up with Collingwood 25 metres away from the goal.
Unfortunately for the Magpies, you still look at the scoreboard, it's 6 goals, isn't it?
And they've hit the post twice in this term. Rocca went very early again. Off the ground, Elliott. Christian. Well played, McGuane. Snapshot. Good kick right there. Touched. Hits the post in the end. Now the free kick going to against Monkhorst, going back to guard. Coming on Zanotti for Fitzroy. So guard to bring it back in. So no score there. Here's Gale at centre half back.
Yes, Michael Gale's been a good player. The boy from Penguin in the north of Tasmania. Now, hand pass from Shaw has been excellent again. Rowe goes to ground. Tony Shaw goes in to lend a hand. He's terrific, Shaw. In towards half forward, the Fitzroy players congregate on Starcevic and they punch it over the line.
Because I hear what you're saying about Collingwood. They do look a better side, but I think it will get down to the fact that 2 of their runners, Butcher and Mitchell, are both on the bench injured. I think they will run out of steam in the last quarter.
Well played, Mickey McGuane. In towards half forward. Oh, good mark. Good use of the body by Stephen Paxman. Excellent mark. And they're just hanging on to that 6-goal lead. Collingwood desperately trying to make inroads into it as Jason Baldwin kicks to centre wing.
Rose in the front spot. Well done by Johnston to tap it over to Elliott. Elliott centering kick. McCarthy coming from a long way back. Krasiska cuts across to take it. Swings it very wide towards Brown, able to keep it in under pressure. kicks around the body in a hurry. Elliott and Rowe. And Elliott has done a fine job when you consider that Rowe turned Collins and Lee inside out over the last couple of weeks. Elliott's done the job today. A day where the Crummers have had some sort of an edge. It went through Baldwin's hands. Here's Williams. Broderick to pressure him out of it. Boyd's take reasonable. Left foot round his body. Chris Sister attacks it strongly. Got held up, gets a free kick.
There's a Collingwood backline getting on top, and I really do believe the Fitzroy forwards feel as though they've got the game won, and they're really not working hard enough. As the ball, is that a mark to Francis? No. Hand pass from Watson. Francis at open goal. He's put it through. The Magpies come back again. Good play by Collingwood. Maybe they're still in with a sniff. 11-7 to 6-9.
And finally something happens for Tony Francis. Almost took a remarkable grab. Rocca does the roving, then lays it off to Francis, and he converts. He missed one earlier in the piece by not picking up a bit of a half volley. Had an open goal. Finally gets his first goal for the afternoon.
Collingwood has kicked the last 3 goals of this match. It's 11-7 to 6-9. They were down, and you reckon out for the count 15 minutes ago. Maybe there's still a hope. Gale gave it to Johnston. McCarthy. Well done, Dundas. Because McCarthy called him out, and Dundas ducked and allowed it to go through.
He was tempted, Dundas, wasn't he, to go for it?
You see McCarthy, who only 5 minutes or so ago dislocated a little finger in his left hand.
But he went for that mark, chest mark, in a strange way too, Jerry, just protecting that finger.
No question he's worried about the finger.
Well, a goal here would be a serious blow to Collingwood's hopes. McCarthy has kicked one. 35 metres out. And he's missed. Well, that could be important.
Lyon off the ground from Fitzroy. Dunstan back on.
It really was as easy as you'd get today anyway. 11-8 to 6-9. And maybe that makes up for a couple at the other end with Rocca and Monkhorst. So Collingwood still with a sniffle. McGuane slips. Gayfer didn't take it. The tackle on him by Zanotti. Russell had to concede ground with the kick, but went to the boundary line and found it.
Roddy's looking doubtful in some of those kick-ins, Jared.
Yeah, once again it gets back to that Dacos technique versus the common theory. That run up there when he tried to put his foot down for a bit of borrow, he slipped.
Well, here's Baldwin, a quick kick in the front of goal. Oh, here's a chance. McCarthy caught, gets in the handball. Umpire calls play on as the hand pass from Watson comes out to Richardson. The Magpies wide to Fraser. Fraser taps it towards the line. No, it's still in play. Yes, still in play. Free kick. Free kick to Fraser. What do you think, Jerry?
Oh, I thought it was just a bit of use of the body there from Gale.
Well, here's a chance for Christian. He taps it back in towards the centre of the ground. Watson back to Russell. A goal here to Collingwood would be invaluable. Up goes the pack. Here's a chance. Williams, Rowe, an open goal looms. Brad Rowe kicks. Brad Rowe's goal. The Magpies are back in business. Brad Rowe has kicked his first. 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes to three-quarter time. Collingwood in with a chance.
And this, I want you to have a look at this, Macca, because I think this highlights one area where I think Collingwood are deficient. Now, Brad Rowe there, in my view, could have drawn the player and given it to Francis. I know it's hypercritical, and he did kick the goal, but in different circumstances, the more percentage play will pay off.
Collingwood with 4 consecutive goals. Gee, the McCarthy mistake at the other end was costly then. Gale runs away from Fraser, but nothing happening for Fitzroy up forward for the moment. Dundas with a quick one. Here's a chance. Dunstan. McGuane looks for a free kick. Gayfer. Tapped along the ground by Richardson. And Watson runs it out.
Did you see again the Fitzroy forwards? As I said before, they are just not putting in the effort they did earlier.
Well, Robert Shaw did react. He took... he replaced and got Dunstan on back onto the ground, took Ross Lyon off. Obviously, he was a bit concerned about his forward line.
Russell's kick around the body. Well, this has been a great quarter for Collingwood. They trailed 11-6 to 3-7 at one stage, and it's now 11-8 to 7-9. So they've added 4-2 to 2 points.
Oh, good smother, Shaw.
Good play, Shaw.
Brown, Russell, Christian and Rowe, 2 versus Elliott.
Free kick, Rowe was held.
Comes back. We've got 50 seconds until three-quarter time. Christian's loose. Rowe tries a long bomb. Boyd at the back. Baldwin. And running to the boundary line. Still in play. Christian tries to break a tackle. Unable to do so. Francis tears in. Runs it out of play.
Gee, they need one just before three-quarter time here, the Magpies. Got 30 seconds. Manson and Rocca. Thump down. Oh, Elliott did that well. I don't think the Magpies will get a chance now as Elliott kicks it wide and lets it bounce over the line. Time clock ticking down. And no, I think time will run out. So they're still in with a chance though. They've got the whole of the last quarter to make up 4 goals. The way they're playing, they're finishing on. Here's Matthew Armstrong. Caught, gets a boot to it. Up in the air. Shaw spoiled by Williams. Quick hand pass by Christian, right on the three-quarter time siren. They've made a good comeback, the Magpies, but Fitzroy lead, 11-8, 74 to Collingwood 7-9, 51.
Christian in the ruck against Manson. Manson gets an ineffective tap. Boyd in there with McGuane. And the umpire calls for it. Early goal vital here. Collingwood came steaming back towards the end of the third quarter and have given themselves a chance after Fitzroy led at one stage by 8 goals in the third term. Starcevic, Fraser just ran out of room in the end, but here's a chance. Watson, clever. Williams. What's happened here? The mark paid. Now Williams quickly on to McGuane, and free kick to McGuane in the pocket.
A couple of deft little kicks there from Collingwood. I thought the one from Williams was a little bit overdone. And here it is, the infringement. Well, good acting there from Mickey boy. Oh, wasn't much in that one, but well done from Williams. He started on the wing and his run across the ground and down to the pocket to give Collingwood another forward option. Fraser getting the football to him. And Mickey, who had a bit of a solid bump in the third quarter, has now gathered himself together and has worked tirelessly once again today. The prototype running play of the 90s.
What a big kick this one is. This to give Collingwood a big chance. They came from nowhere in the third quarter. Drop punt. He hooks it and misses. And he will be disappointed.
Yes, unlike McGuane, an excellent kick at goal. You'd back him in on most occasions. Obviously very difficult with a pretty slippery football, although it would be new at the change of each quarter.
And Paxman to bring her back in. And the margin whittling down. 22 points out to half-back. Stretch was from Boyd. Here's Brown from the 50-metre line to the goal square. Monkhorst against 3 of them. Rowe couldn't take it. Now left foot is at the goal. Touched. It's a point. Oh, touched off the boot.
They've had heaps of chances, the Magpies. They hit the post twice in the third term. And Brad Rowe, even there, he went with it one-handed again, as I said he did in the third term, running in towards goal. You've got to grab it with 2 hands with that wet ball. And that's Paxman to the half-back line. It's thumped the ground. Coming through is Paul Broderick. Broderick wide. Gives it to Zanotti. Zanotti was going to give the hand pass, then elects to kick the long kick. A beautiful kick up to Lynch, who smothers it and lets it go to the line. A good clearing kick that by Mark Zanotti.
It's good defensive work by Fitzroy, but I'm sure we'll think at the end of the day, if only Collingwood had converted 1 or 2 of the opportunities they've had in the second half, that they may well be a hell of a lot closer.
Well, like the good side, they are fighting this right out. They give themselves a chance. Scott Russell kicks it off the ground now. How will the umpire see that? He sees it as a push in the back.
Ross Lyon has snuck onto the ground.
Matthew Armstrong way out there on centre wing.
He's not taking Brad Boyd off, Pete.
This is Armstrong. He's a great kick. And look at that one, a 60-metre kick to the pocket. No mark to McGuane. He taps it to the line. It'll be a throw-in. Half-forward flank for Fitzroy. And the last thing the Magpies would want would be a goal in this passage of play to the Roys.
Alastair Lynch giving the umpire a mouthful. He thought he was pushed out. Had every right to be a little bit annoyed.
McCarthy off the ground. Krasiska. Baldwin was brilliant in the first half. Quick left-footed to the pocket. Shaw chases with Morwood and McCarthy, and out of play again.
Well, I think Shane Morwood's look was one of guilt there. Quickly looked round to the umpire to see if he was going to be penalised for shuffling the ball out of bounds. Not so.
Does the ruck work now with McCarthy. Body to body. Wine tries to run through. Shaw taps it straight out of play. Well, nothing subtle there from the captain.
I think it'd be a brave umpire to play that under these conditions.
Not much else to do, was there?
And no, you've got to let those go.
Now again, McCarthy. Morwood tapped it back. Watson off the ground. Well done. Brown. Now Watson running for him. Brown able to get it up. Oh, well played. He's a class act. Watson from centre wing. A probing kick, a penetrating kick. Paxman in the front spot, claiming a mark. Rocca now tries to take it off him. Johnston grabs it and gets a free kick in the back. Collingwood players and fans saying that Johnston tucked it underneath himself, but umpire saying that he was pushed into the ground. Drop punt. Lynch, who's come up the ground, obviously, to take that mark. Maybe having a run on the ball. Good kick. Had to be accurate. Play on called. Lyon unable to get it away. Gafer. Starcevic versus Roos. Francis held on to. Free kick. He's got Monkhorst on his own in the square. Sets himself and takes it. Oh, they're coming home, the Maggies.
And good play from Monkhorst. He just hit himself out in the forward pocket. Was giving Francis a quick signal to get the ball down quickly. And the big fellow did the rest, put his hands up after a good kick from Francis. And Collingwood have looked a far better combination with Christian in the centre of the ground doing the ruck work and Big Monkey up taking the marks at full forward.
He's got it. The Maggies are back in this. Monkhorst has got his second.
Yes, and I think we're in for another tight finish between these two clubs. They have had a history of it in recent years. Charles Manson has been removed from the ground. Wheildon has gone to full forward, and Alastair Lynch is going to take the ruck duels. A move I thought could have come a bit earlier in the third quarter.
Yes, that's a good move. And Lynch trying to lift the Roys because the Magpies have got a run on. Here's Fitzroy though through Armstrong in towards Wheildon. Wheildon goes to ground. He should have hugged it to the chest. He tried to take it in the hands. Half forward. Alastair Lynch did it well. Gets in a hand pass, but he's been caught for holding the ball too long, the umpire said.
And suddenly everything going Collingwood's way, although I think that McGuane may be a little bit slow for Wheildon. Collingwood will have to have a look at that matchup.
Ronnie McGuane to centre wing. Christian almost a mark. Gale. Oh, hand pass straight to Francis. Gave it right into his hands. In towards half forward he goes. Thumped away the Magpies again. Craig Starcevic kicks a goal. Monkhorst versus Seacamp, and Seacamp with too much pace. Taps it through for a behind, but Collingwood edging closer.
Once again, it's that handball that Collingwood don't give in the forward line. I thought Francis could have popped it over to McGuane, who would have gone into kicking range. He got it down quickly. Collingwood's strength is getting the ball quickly into the forward line, but I think sometimes they let themselves down by not picking the right option.
Fitzroy stopping. The Magpies fighting hard and coming at them. Lynch with strength. That could be a good move by Robert Shaw. A versatile player, Alastair Lynch. Gets it to Gale. Gale to half forward, and McCarthy marks.
Long way from goal, and Fitzroy needing to conjure a couple of goals up here. They must get something out of their attacks. High kick to centre half forward. Richardson the only one to go, unable to take it. Handball by Broderick. Armstrong pushed it forward. Baldwin, high one. Right to the goal square. Fitzroy with the numbers. Dundas is fifth. Make that.
Yes, and a great Rovers goal once again to Dundas. There was 3 Fitzroy players down in the forward line. 1 against 3. What hope did Big Ronnie have there? Wheildon did the work, bringing it to ground.
Back to the centre, Dundas. Matthew Dundas has kicked 5. That could be the difficult one. I won't say the sealer just yet, as Watson races after it. He's on centre wing. Armstrong dives across the boot. The kick down towards Starcevic, who's been extremely quiet. Craig Starcevic, 1 mark, 3 kicks, 2 handballs. 80 plays 60, 20 points. You would think that would be a winning lead, but Collingwood, well, they'll fight it right out to the finish, as they did last year here, and they lost by a point. There's Mickey McGuane almost unloaded. Tony Shaw dives on the ball. It's a loose one. David Johnston off the side of the boot. Ross Lyon is there. In they go. Tony Francis grabs it and takes it to ground, and the umpire's going to throw it up.
Yes, if Fitzroy can get just 1 more goal, they could then set about slowing the game down. There's a player down on the ground, and the umpire, the trainers are calling for the halting of play. Probably got to be Broderick. Just having a look at the Armstrong.
Free kick going to Roos, and Armstrong in real trouble there.
Well, let's hope it's not the knee that he had so seriously damaged many years ago. It's an incredibly bad injury. He's done well to get back.
That was in 1990, I think, Jared, and it was a bad one, wasn't it? And he's done a great job to get back, so that's a real blow if that is the case.
They take him straight to the line, Bruce, on the other side of the ground.
So Armstrong off now and won't be coming back.
Boyd will come back on.
There's a 20-point margin, and Collingwood are desperately trying to get back into this game. They need another goal in a hurry. Boyd back on, and bad luck for Armstrong as McGuane over the top of the ball.
They're going to call for the stretcher to cart him around the boundary line. Well, this is a real blow to Fitzroy and to Armstrong himself.
He's had a fine season, Jared.
Oh, he's been superb. Player that has worked so hard to come back. His career was written off by doctors. And let's just have a look what happens on the television. Oh, yes, there you see that left knee just opening up. Unfortunately, the knees weren't designed to play this game. And just a sheer act of desperation there from Armstrong, diving, lunging at the football. He gets his knee caught underneath Mick McGuane. A little bit similar to the Richard Osborne, Darren Mullane incident of a couple of years ago.
And he's in a bit of pain, Jared. Hands to the head. That would be a tragedy if that's a serious knee injury to Matthew Armstrong.
I don't think there's any question about that now, Pete, looking at that replay.
So Armstrong being carried from the ground, the 26-year-old, and well, we've all got our fingers crossed that well, it's not going to be as damaging as it looks. Terrible luck there for Matthew.
Has been another important play today for Fitzroy. He's been used in his usual role, starting on a wing, then going in as a centreman.
Played him on Williams early, Jared. Matched up with Paul Williams.
I thought he had the better of Williams early in the piece, particularly as the Collingwood took one of their major forward assets away from the forward pocket. They looked a little bit top-heavy down there.
I think we're ready to go. Lynch and Christian to do the ruck work. Brown coming in. Baldwin thumps it to the line and out of play. So we'll be a very long term with play held up for about 3 minutes. 12-8 to 8-12. Lynch and Christian. Christian forces it forward. Lyon hasn't done much at all and gets a free kick there.
A little lucky.
In fact, Johnston's got it. I think it was Lyons, wasn't it?
Well, I certainly didn't think it was Lyons. Sorry, Bruce. So Johnston to half forward. Here's Gale. Gale on the left foot to the half forward line. Lynch races at it. Oh, he went without it. And I don't know what he was doing then as it's tapped back towards the pocket. Here's a chance for Doc Wheildon. And Wheildon across, a shocking kick across the face and puts it out of bounds. He could have run right in then, Gerard.
Yes, he kicked under a little bit of mental pressure rather than the physical pressure from Collingwood players. Could have done better.
Forward pocket for Fitzroy. Ronnie McGuane versus Brad Boyd. There he is, the little champ. Tony Shaw to the half back line, punched away by Baldwin. He's been an excellent player for Fitzroy all day.
Yeah, I thought he was just a little bit flat in the third quarter, but has contributed again well in this last quarter.
Yeah, great first half.
Yes, magnificent. Really did have the better of Mark Fraser on a wing.
Half forward line for Fitzroy. There's Lynch getting it out to Baldwin again. He gets a hurry kick to half forward. Krasiska back with that holding decision, and it is going Krasiska's way. There's a mark as well. Gavin Krasiska, a beautiful kick to centre wing. Up they go. Ruse, discipline play. Off the ground by Wine. In goes Broderick. Gives it straight to Francis. Francis up in the air to the pocket. Brown hugs it to his chest. He's up and off. Brownie off the side of the boot to the half forward line, is thumped away but straight to Morwood. Morwood goes wide. He finds Christian. Christian to Starcevic. Can he get there? No, he can't. And Ruse will mop up here. Ruse trying to tap it onto Zanotti. They won't catch Zanotti. You'll look at this for pace. And off he goes and kicks it right down towards half forward. Dunstan went without it. Now it's Gafer, and Gafer gives it back to Gavin Krasiska.
And Krasiska's kick smothered. He had both Morwood and Russell running for him about 30 metres away. Fitzroy still leads by 20 points. McCarthy and Morwood doing the ruck work at the throw-in. Morwood won the tap. Wind, McGuane pressuring him and takes it off him. Well played, McGuane. High left footer goes back to centre wing. Terrific mark by Brown.
She's a good player, isn't he?
Eyes only for the footy, isn't he? All the time. Then short. Tony Shaw has had 14 kicks and 9 handballs. Been a big accumulator on a day like today. Ruse versus Starcevic. Elliott. Rowe. Quick tackle. Or chance here. Williams running in. Should go over the top. Goal. Collingwood are still well and truly in this as Williams kicks his second and Collingwood reduce the margin to 14 points.
And still they fight back the Pies. Well executed there by Williams. He drew the player. Then the player tried to duck back onto Monkhorst. And rather than getting caught in two minds, Williams, he did slam it home. But one of the effects of Shaw's game is that he's taken Broderick out for Fitzroy.
So back to the centre. The Magpies battling hard. Tony Shaw dives. Umpire calls play on. Gale's in after it. Next goal vitally important in the context of this game. The Magpies must score the next goal. They're fighting hard as they did last year here at Princes Park.
Yes, Tony Shaw once again has done a pretty effective stopping job on Paul Broderick, player that has been in good form for the Lions all year.
The Fitzroy players come in on top of it. Gavin Brown, he's lifted the Magpies. So that muddy centre, umpire Rowan Swords. There's Gavin. Been an excellent player again. He does the ruck work and hits it with the left hand. Ross Lyon tries to crash his way through. He gets it out towards Broderick. Broderick and Zanotti. Now it's a free kick and it will go the way of Mark Zanotti. It looked a little bit doubtful. Mark Zanotti on centre wing. He should be kicking it as long as he can here for Fitzroy's sake. Oh, shocking kick by Zanotti. It should have come up to centre half forward, that kick, and he's kicked it out straight to Morwood.
Goes short, looking for Russell, gets him at centre wing. Collingwood just 14 points behind. Russell with a torpedo punt and gets some distance towards the 50-metre. Rowe, big fly, not paid. Oh, gee, it was a great attempt. Starcevic, no free kick. Rowe trying to burrow it out.
It was almost worth a mark, that, wasn't it?
Well, plenty worse have been paid
with a wet ball.
But importantly, Rowe getting up, not remonstrating with the umpire. He wasn't overly disappointed, so get on with it, he thinks.
Starcevic to Brown. Baldwin a hip and shoulder. Guard, put Lynch under pressure. Kick didn't go far. McCarthy misses it. Morwood just in two minds there, unable to get the first reflex handball away. Gale Johnston got it to Broderick, who has been pretty well held today. He's kick up towards the 60-metre line or mark and punched away by McGuane over Wheildon, out of play. Fitzroy desperately hanging on. They set the scene here with an early break on Collingwood. Led 7-1 at quarter time, maintained the lead at half time, stretched it a bit in the third, and since that point Collingwood has been coming home over the top of them.
Well, here they come again. Tony Shaw was diving on it as usual. Oh, going without it then was McCarthy. And there's Morwood. He's cool in a crisis. Smothered off Tony Shaw's hands. Socket off the ground. Look at Gavin Brown working his heart out. He goes to ground. They come in on top of him. And the umpire will have no hesitation. Oh, Fitzroy free kick. Stupid play. Now, was that Francis gave him one in the face?
It was against Tony Shaw. I think it came barrelling over the top of the pack. Caught Johnson in the scon.
Yep. Copped him right in the head. Now, let's see what happens.
Wait for Shaw to come over the back. He's still coming. There he is.
Yeah, silly play by Tony Shaw. He really didn't need to do that because there was a ball-up situation.
Fitzroy attacked with full gusto in the first quarter, opened up a 6-goal lead, and everything was going well for them in attack, but they really have just played hang-on football in the last half.
McGuane chips in front of Wheildon. Only managed 2 goals since half-time. Fraser, Watson went without it. It could be a bad miss here. Baldwin chips it to Lynch.
Yes, bad mistake there from Watson. A player of undoubted ability, as we know, but he went for that football with only the one hand. Going through the boggy centre patch, he had to get his body behind it, perhaps even a leg, at least the 2 hands. And now the costly turnover. And Alastair Lynch will shoot for what could be the sealer. This will test his goal-kicking ability, Bruce.
Well, the distance would be a big doubt, wouldn't it, with the wet ball from there?
Have to be.
It's kicked 4 goals too. Goes from about 49 metres. Drop punt. It's a good kick, isn't it? A beauty, a goal. He's passed the test this time.
No doubt about that one, Bruce. The question mark was placed on him by myself early in the game as to how good a shot a goal he was, but he has come up trumps there. There we see the reason for the turnover. Watson's poor attack on the football. But take your hat off to Alastair Lynch on this occasion. This is a magnificent shot at goal under the pressure of perhaps winning the match.
Well, the Fitzroy champ, he's kicked 5, and really I thought with the wet ball that might be a doubt at the distance. Many other players have found it hard to make it from there, but...
Well, here's a booming kick, isn't he? If he gets onto them, it's one of the longest kicks in the AFL.
Well, he's one of the great players in the AFL, Alastair Lynch, because that was a pressure kick, and I think it's made it safe for Fitzroy. The Magpies will keep fighting, though. There's Williams putting the ball on the ground, then was grabbed.
There's no way he was grabbed. It had to be high.
And it was high.
He had the football.
Exactly. It was a high tackle, but he didn't play it that way, I didn't think. Here's Monkhorst at the back. Punched away by Paxman. Here's Francis. He went without it. He goes in and gets it, the little rover. Hand pass. On to Mickey McGuane, who's tried his heart out all day, McGuane. Here's Francis again. He's playing for the free kick. He's got it. He ducks the head. Academy Award performance. The umpire had a real good look at that one, and he knew there was no free kick there. And Rowan Saws, a very experienced umpire.
Yes, Rowan Saws retired a couple of seasons ago, had a bit of a look at it last year, and then decided to put the boots back on. Very, very good umpire.
Monkhorst with some strength, tried to get it out, and Brown trying to crash through. But it's the umpires in the pocket. Well, Collingwood trailing by 20 points. Needing a very quick goal to maintain some sort of pressure on Fitzroy. If Fitzroy can hold this lead for a couple more minutes, it'll be beyond Collingwood in the conditions. Fitzroy will be able to stop and start it and prevent Collingwood getting in any sort of crack at them.
I think Lynch's goal was definitely the sealer, Bruce.
20-point margin. Monkhorst gets a free kick. Lynch just grabbing hold of the arm, and the big fella's done very well up forward. He's kicked 2 goals.
Hit the post once. There's no doubt about that. There's a locking of the arms. But boy, the ruckmen seem to do that every time they go for the football.
Well, this will test him. It's going to be a very hard shot in the pocket. Drop punt across the face and a behind. 9-13 to 13-8.
They just gave too big a start, Collingwood. We thought that right from the start that a quarter time and they had a 6-goal leader was a little bit too much under wet conditions, as we see Seacamp coming away with the ball to the half-forward line. This is Dunstan. He drops the mark, should tap it on. He's unloaded as he tried to pick it up. Here's Elliott. A hurried kick in towards the pocket. Wheildon's got it. Dundas has kicked 5. He loses the ball in the tackle. Back it comes to Wheildon, but a free kick will go the way of who? I think it'll go to Dundas. He's kicked 5, the little rover. Lynch has kicked 5.
Skidded into him, coming in to attack the football. And here we have it on screen. Dundas does what you basically cannot do on a wet day, and that's perform the big guard balk. And there we saw it late. Shane Watson coming in, applying the knees to Dundas.
So Matthew Dundas chipping it in short, and he's given it to Ross Lyon. Lyon was tempted to give another one then. Now he's 52 metres from goal. He can chip it over to Baldwin. Yes, he will. Good play by Jason Baldwin. He's a little bit closer in at goal. Probably still a slight doubt with the distance, but Baldwin, well, he'd nearly be in the votes, I think, Jared. He's played a great game.
Excellent first half. Very good statistics. Not sure about his second half, Peter, but...
no, third term a little bit quiet. So Baldwin goes for the big torpedo punt. It swings, but no score. Out on the full as time clock ticks down. Just over 5 minutes of play left in this game.
Krasiska to bring her back in. Collingwood out of time here. And they're going to lose top spot on the ladder. And Fitzroy is going to be very much a part of the action. Broderick towards the goal square. Wheildon stretched up. A couple of Collingwood defenders out of play.
And that'll place North Melbourne on top of the ladder, Bruce.
I hope the Doc's shoulder's all right there. He's out for 3 or 4 weeks. He just gave it a bit of a turnover. Now McCarthy. Shaw to Gayfer. Left foot not good. Straight out of bounds on the full. No real pressure there on Mickey. And the human glove is, we've come to know him, giving that one up. Dunstan now, and surely the real sting has gone out of the game in the last couple of minutes. Once Lynch goal, and then Fitzroy held on for a couple more. McCarthy goes off the ground, and he touched a behind.
A holding decision. Free kick to Fitzroy in front.
Well, that's really rubbing it in for Shane Morwood. Bad luck there. McCarthy's free kick. See McCarthy going for it.
Oh, not much in that, was there? Oh, is that a lucky free kick?
Oh, there didn't look to be anything at all.
Oh.
A couple of players both going for the football.
I think the umpire said he dragged him back by the arm, but it was just arms moving everywhere. Very lucky.
Well, fortunately, there's 20 points of margin anyway. McCarthy goes back and kicks his second.
Yes, no need to send Paul Roos forward this time. This game, well, not truly over now. Last year, of course, Roos kicked the winning goal with the last kick of the day in an absolute thriller. But today, Fitzroy just far too good for Collingwood. They burst away in the first quarter. Had a bit of a lapse in the third, but have been up to the task in the last quarter. Well done, McCarthy. Been a pretty fine contributor all day.
Well, Roy's doing it well, and it was a good move putting Lynch on the ball in this last term as it socked off the ground, but in the meantime there was a free kick to Collingwood. Back in the centre. They've showed a lot of heart, Collingwood. They gave a big start to Fitzroy. They battled hard, but under wet conditions, you just cannot give a side a 6 or 7 goal start.
Well, Peter, how good are Fitzroy?
Well, they've improved out of sight. They and North Melbourne, the glamour sides of the competition at the moment. It's refreshing to see 2 new sides up there battling their hearts out.
Can they make the 6?
Of course they can. They're good enough.
No doubt about that now. And to think what could have been, they've had a couple of very close losses.
Well, Adelaide by a point.
Footscray by about 3 points.
Yep.
Here's Shaw over the top of it with Gale. And Francis tearing in. And again, it'll be a ball up. So Collingwood trying to... Sorry, mate.
There is one excited man here at the moment. He's on the boundary line, James Manson. We may be able to pick him up later.
He's coming on too.
Is he a happy boy?
Wants to be part of the victory celebration. Williams from about 40 metres out. High one. Monkhorst gets underneath it. And it looks like it's out of play. So Manson coming on and running to full forward at the other end of the ground.
He'll stir the crowd up. You watch him. Look at him stirring the crowd up, Manson.
I'd love to see his head when the siren blows.
Cheer squad behind him. They rise to the animation as Brown goes for goal across the face and out on the full.
Well, football does need characters, and James Manson is certainly one of those. Very good player for Collingwood for many years, transferred to Fitzroy at the end of this season, and he is going to partake in a very good victory against his old club.
Well, here's Michael Christian. He can't pick it up, sock it off the ground by Ross Lyon. This is Mick Gafer. He'll go to the line, but it is just far too late now for the Magpies. 2 minutes of play left.
I wonder if Manson and Zanotti have lockers together.
Well, here's Christian trying to back flick it. Zanotti is there. Baldwin's been excellent. Kicks it straight to McGuane, who has not given up trying all day, Mickey McGuane. Lynch went without it. Here's Monkhorst. He's tried hard also. Now on the left foot is Starcevic. It's bouncing towards goal. I think it's a goal to the Magpies. Kicked by Starcevic, yes. So they're still fighting it out to the wire, Collingwood. He's been a quiet player, though. The half-forward flanker. 14-8, plays 10-13.
Here's Monkhorst doing quite well again. That's his advantage at the present time. A big fellow that can work on the ground. He has done particularly well to cover that deficiency. But you cannot take anything away from Fitzroy.
Starcevic's belated goal brings the margin to 19 points. Here's Brown out of the centre. Gets a push, gets a free kick. He's had a good second half, Gavin Brown. It was one of the reasons Collingwood came back into the match. Quickly on, Rocca in the centre of the pack. Going also Paxman. Monkhorst tries to thump it forward. Francis on the bottom of it. Baldwin's in there. Rocca, and it'll be a throw up at centre half forward. Collingwood deep in attack. Monkhorst doing the work. Collingwood with numbers at the ball. Williams went to ground. Not a good option to Shaw, but he had the strength to hold up. Now Russell chips it out wide. McGuane, good mark, Mickey. Threw himself at it and got it.
He's been a great player today, Mick McGuane.
Yes, I think you have to give full credit to Robert Shaw the way he started, though. The first quarter was the one that set this victory up for Fitzroy, and part of the tactics of Robert Shaw was to get this player out of the contest. He had Gale line up in the forward pocket.
Here's Morwood.
Particularly well.
And good defensive work by Paxman to thump it away from Monkhorst and out of play. So Fitzroy make it 3 wins in succession. Melbourne, West Coast, and now Collingwood. And they've beaten the 2 favourites for the flag in the last 2 weeks. Zanotti goes up at the back. Gale there. Handball okay to Lyon. Lyon kicks it away out towards centre wing, and that's it. The Lions have won. Pulled off the upset. 14-8-92. With 2 of their men getting 10 goals between them, Dundas and Lynch. 10 of the 14 they kicked, and Collingwood 10-13-73. There's Manson. And he's got a lot of mates on the other side. He left Victoria Park with a lot of friends, and he's got some new ones now with Fitzroy.